Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. We have a triforce of we don't give a shit ready to go. So we're talking
Yeah,
about stealing cars as slowly and completely pressurelessly as possible with a movie from 2000.
yeah, and
It is from the famous late 90s to mid 2000s let's remake a heist movie
Yeah,
genre.
yeah.
yeah.
This
But
the
but
the
everybody's
Italian
got
Job.
bleached hair. Is
Ocean's
Let me
11.
tell you something. And I'm this is just off the cuff, right? Because watching this movie, and we've reviewed movies. We watched a lot of new metal horror movies from this era. Is like the early 2000s one of the worst eras of film? Because like this immediately like took me back to like, oh yeah, everything looks yellow. Like everything has just got this
everything is yellow.
disgusting piss
Like
yellow filter over it. And like the music sucks in this. And like there's like I can't like put it into words, but there was like a style and an editing an editing style of this era of movie that like I don't know, I felt like it like permeated everything back then. And like watching this like it took me back. It was like that scene in fucking Ratatouille where he eats the fucking food and it like takes him back to when he was a kid. This is like that, but like eating like a big pile of shit and like waking up in a septic tank. I was like, oh yeah, movies used to be like this.
it is a movie from the end of history era of our pop culture where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, we won. So everything we do is fucking great.
True.
Capitalism is the
We're
best.
playing with house money now.
You're
So yeah,
not wrong.
it's yeah. I mean, it's the yellow filter is there. The movie looks best at night when the yellow filter is less noticeable, but still obviously filtering through the lights. Uh, and yeah, and like Nicolas Cage's hair is yellow because everybody's bleached.
It's
Like
Dude,
fucking
Nicolas
Angelina
Cage is
Jolie's
weird.
wearing
talk
blue
about it.
contacts that are the least convincing blue contacts I've ever seen in my
No,
entire life.
they're right up there with
Like,
they're right up there with Jessica Alba's blue contacts when she was in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
well, it's funny, like Nate, when you said it's like an end of history movie, because it's also like we're in a post-racial society, but that means you could have maximum 20% black people.
Oh yeah, well,
But
and we're
but
in a
also
post-racial
be
society, which
like
means we can
super
also
racist.
we can do all of we can do all the jokes we want. This movie has racist jokes against black people, against Asian people. They drop the hard F on
Oh
a
yeah,
joke when they're
yeah.
in the car about. Now I don't even remember who they're talking about, but they're like, "Who's the
Yeah.
guy?" I mean, it is so of the hey, we won, so we're awesome and we're self-aware, so anything we do is okay as long as we're self-aware about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a weird movie. Also, like a hot take potentially, but like I don't give a shit about cars. Like I recognize that like cars are cool.
Oh,
I
I
think
I
the
know
do.
cars are the best, the
I have
most
nothing,
interesting part of the
and don't
movie.
get me
But
wrong, like
yeah,
I don't hold it against anybody to like cars because I understand like object like that Mustang is super cool.
yeah,
But
Eleanor
like
is
I just
great.
Yeah. Well,
don't
I'll
care.
tell
Like
you,
watching the
TJ.
movie, I'm like, I don't give a
Uh,
shit.
when I didn't have any money and I was in debt, I didn't care about cars. But now that I have no
Sure,
debt, like I
that
love
makes
cars.
sense.
So I have not only do I have a Chevrolet Camaro, but I also, for no reason, bought a Pontiac Solstice just because I wanted a two-seat
Hell yeah,
roadster.
Hell
So
yeah.
now I have two
those are
cars.
Hey,
great. That's
I respect that.
that's an
I
MR,
mean,
Yeah.
right?
It's similar. Like it's funny because every time I go to visit Nate, his some neighbor of his has a Miata that I
Mhm.
love, and I always walk past it, and I'm like, I want that fucking car. But Miatas are really expensive. I was like, well, I can get a Solstice for like 5 grand, so
I
I did
mean,
that.
again, I wouldn't. I love guitars, and
You had that
yeah,
Mustang.
I never really liked that car. My mom got me that car. Like, my mom pressured me into buying that car. I was so like, that car like did not fit me at all, and I hated that car. Like, I hated driving that fucking car. That car was cool if like there was nothing on the road. Like, I'm talking like water, wind, snow. That thing was like a fucking like sled.
What year was it?
Shit. I don't. It
It
was
was
the
it was
anniversary.
before the redesign, but after the
Yeah,
F body. It was probably like a 95,
it was a.
Okay,
I
96,
think
somewhere
it
in
was
yeah.
there.
a '95. It was the anniversary edition. It was all black. It was cool. It looked cool, but like I just hated driving it. Like I did not like driving that car at all. And like it's so funny because like you know, who's the F slur, it's me, because like my most comfortable car is the car I have now. It's this little piece of shit Yaris, and I'm like totally happy with it because it's just this little stupid
It's
buggy
front wheel
car.
drive and it
It's just-
goes. You know
yeah,
where you know what it's gonna do.
you know what I like about that car is that like it's a hatchback, so the seats fold down. So like I can put all my fucking con shit when I vend. Like it fits like 2 tables and all my paintings and all that crap in the back. And I'm like, this is great. That's all I need. And it's tiny as shit. So if I go in the city, I can park it pretty much anywhere. But it's like,
See, I got the opposite. I got the American exceptionalism vehicle where it's like, can you help me move? It's like, I can't help you do shit, brother. I can't fit anything in here but myself.
Camaros are fucking sick. My mom used to have an 87 that was like this metallic blue.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fucking badass. I mean, again, I recognize the cars are cool. I just don't like give a shit. I don't know. It, like maybe it's just the movie that made me like overly negative
Well,
because I'm just like
The movie
the
doesn't
movie makes cars.
Yeah, the movie doesn't
boring.
care about the cars that much either, which is what's so weird about it. Like
Also-
it doesn't do like the sexy fetishization of any
No.
car other than the brief thing with Eleanor, which is just kind of weird because it's like Nick Cage wants to fuck the car.
I like, and the thing is, like, I'm gonna spoil spoilers for what's coming ahead, but like, I was expecting. I've seen this movie, but again, I think I talked about it last week. Like, this is a movie that I know I've watched, but I couldn't remember anything about it. I could have sworn there was like at least a couple of car chases, but there's really not that many car chases in the movie, and the one you do get isn't good.
There's like for being a movie with the title Gone in 60 Seconds and being about stealing cars, which should be a high pressure, very action oriented activity.
Yeah,
It
it's
is neither
boring.
until the very, very end.
So boring. Also, like,
Well,
I'm so strong.
it's also they give themselves like this.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, this like insane fucking ticking clock where it's like we have to steal 50 cars in one night, so we have to get 60 dudes, and it's like
Yeah.
this shit.
Also,
is
like
a
logistically, it
mess.
still doesn't make any sense because they don't have enough people to do what they need to do. But the thing is, like, I was thinking the whole time watching this, I was like, man, I wish I was watching Death Proof because that's a much more fun car-related movie.
Oh yeah, for
What kind of
sure.
car is that, Sean? The stuntman Mike car.
Oh, the one
Is
that
it-
he
yeah.
has,
Is it a
I can't
Barracuda or
remember, but
something?
they have
That
a.
thing is fucking cool as hell.
I can pull it up, but I know that the girls, Zoe, not Zoe Bell. What is her name? Zoe.
Isn't it Zoe Bell?
Is
I
it
think
Zoe
it's
Bell? She has a. It's like a '71 Dodge Challenger. It's the same car from Vanishing
Yeah,
Point.
that's a cool car too. But I like Stuntman Mike's with
cool
the
movie
fucking
too.
skull on the front. Like that shit's badass. That's we've talked about this to death, but that's a movie that like every time I watch it, I like it even more. Like that when that
Yeah, because it was like, remember when it was like the worst Tarantino movie when that
Yeah.
was like kind of the popular
And
narrative, and it's like I really like that.
I like
car.
the car and I like that movie. Like I would go back to watching Death Proof. I've watched that movie probably half a dozen times. I've gone back to watching Planet Terror twice. Like it's not
sucks.
good. But anyway, let's get into it. We're down Gogs and we're down Alec, who it was going to be a 3v2 situation, I suspect. But I think now it's just we're all just in agreement about this movie.
I think we'll get their statements on the next episode.
Yeah.
I feel like Gogs might have sold his opinion on this movie.
What do you mean?
Like I think if he was on here now, well, I guess he didn't watch it. And I think if he rewatched it, he would not be as into
It's
it.
a Kroll situation where he like remembers liking it and then he watches it and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
Also, and maybe I'm doing a little work for Gogs, but like I feel like his movie tastes have evolved. I mean, all of ours has to a certain extent, right? But I feel like Gogs used to watch a lot of this slop. Like we used to live together, you know what I mean? Like our DVD shelf.
Yeah.
I'm sure we had this in the house. I guarantee this was in the house. And I feel like he used to just watch kind of anything, and now like he's a little bit more selective. We've made him more of a snob, which I'm very proud of. Also, this has nothing to do with anything. It's just a piece of movie trivia that I found out today that blew my fucking mind. Are you all familiar with the filmmaker Peter Greenaway? He made a movie called A Zed and Two Knots. He made what's the movie? The Thief, the Wife, the Thief.
Oh, the thief, the cook, the wife,
Yeah,
or lover.
he made those two movies. He's made a
Yeah.
lot of other movies. He's great. I love him. He was originally supposed to direct Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I can't process that piece of information. I
Wild.
know. I was like, that is the most insane thing. He was the original director. That is a fact. I guess when they originally pitched the movie, well, originally, and we talked about this. Like, didn't we review Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I think we did.
Yeah.
That movie was originally supposed to be a Chinatown sequel, which is insane. But I guess
Well, I mean, it's very
Totally.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
But the original pitch for that movie, it was supposed to be dark and it was supposed to be R-rated. And I guess they got Greenaway because he's like an avant-garde, like weirdo filmmaker. And they wanted to make it weird. And I guess in the process of pre-production, when they turn it to Disney and they turned into what it turned out to be, I guess like when they went to PG-13, they're like, Peter Greenaway's like, yeah, I'm not making a fucking kids movie. Like,
Even though that's still pretty dark movie.
I can't.
But yeah.
Peter Greenaway, by the way, made this movie called The Falls. That is a movie that I love, but I cannot recommend it to anybody. It's the driest, most like it's like basically a slideshow. But I always think it's funny because I bought the book adaptation, which is literally just it's weird. You can't see it, but it's literally just like the movie, but in book form. Like because the movie is literally just like a narration. And it's one of these movies. I remember I was dating this girl years ago, and she's like, "Oh, that looks interesting." And she watched it. She's like, "How the fuck did you watch that movie?" It was the most boring movie I've ever seen in my life. I was like, I don't know. I liked it. Anyway, what'd y'all watch this week? I'm mad at Gogs, by the way. I watched a movie specifically to talk to him about, and then he doesn't show up this week. So, Nate,
I watched 3 things.
3 things.
The first thing I watched was 2009's Castaway on the Moon, which is a South Korean movie.
Never heard of it.
It's about a guy that's so in debt that he tries to leave to his death off of a bridge, but he gets washed onto a isolated nature preserve island in the middle of a river that's
A fun
right,
premise. I
right
like the
in
premise.
Seoul. So
I thought you were going to say he tried to jump off a bridge and
Fell on the moon.
accidentally got sucked up
Yeah,
onto the
yeah.
moon.
So he basically like finds himself stranded on an island in the middle of like Seoul. But no one can hear him and no one comes there because it's just like a nature preserve thing. So he starts trying to survive on the island. Meanwhile, there's like a very cute girl who's like a weird shut-in who only like she stays in a room and takes pictures of the moon and is on social media all the time. She sees him through her camera lens, through the telephoto lens, and they start communicating in this very quirky way. It's like kind of Amelie, kind of whatever. It's a very sweet movie. And pretty funny. Like there's just a lot of stuff where he's like trying to grow things and he's sort of trifling with the nature of being a human in a capitalist modern society.
Sounds great. Sounds like
works.
right up my alley.
But yeah, it's very fun, very cute. I think I think
Did
you'd probably
anybody
enjoy
direct
it.
that I'd heard of or anything?
The director is it's Lee Hae-jun.
Peter Greenaway.
Yeah, Peter Greenaway. It's Lee Hae-jun, who also would have done, I guess, like a Virgin and Ashfall, so probably not anything
I haven't.
that
You know, the
you'd
thing
see.
with
I haven't
Korean
seen it.
cinema is that like I'm way more versed in like Japanese cinema. Like Korean cinema, I know like 4 directors, and I feel bad because like it's like Bong Joon-ho, Chan Woo Park, and there's another guy I really like. But like it's like I feel like there's probably way more South Korean movies that I'd love. I just you know what I mean, exposure to them. It's just like
Well, I mean, you just don't have
Yeah.
access in the same way. I mean, I guess you probably do now, but you'd have to know.
yeah, you got to know what to look for. You know.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I feel the same way because I think I'm always surprised by how good every movie I've seen that's a Korean movie is really, but it's just
How did you
kind
come
of
across this one?
this was a pick in like a film club thing that I do with some friends back from Colorado. So
You have other friends.
I know.
can't
Unfortunately, I know I didn't ask to make sure that was okay, but I do have other movie friends.
Speaking, we were talking about I think you should leave, that one where like he like is part of that friend club where he like pays to be your friend or whatever. That guy's at
Yeah.
brunch.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
My favorite quote from the
You got a
movie
great look.
was the guy. He's on the island and he says, "Birds taste better than fish. Perhaps evolution is the process of getting tastier." Just kind of that gives you a little
Like that.
sense of the quirk of the movie.
Nate, I have a homework assignment for you.
Okay.
You should watch. Speaking of good Korean movies,
The villainous.
that is an awesome movie. But no, I was saying you should watch Save the Green Planet, the original Begonia. I think you would
Oh,
like it.
yeah, I should.
And it's
Nice.
different enough from Begonia where like I feel like it's still an interesting watch. Like I think you would enjoy it.
And you said the villain, Sean?
The Villainess.
The Villainess.
That movie
Okay.
rocks.
That
It's
movie
so
fucking
good.
ruled.
Yeah, that
Okay,
movie.
cool.
And that movie is just like balls to the wall action. Like fucking fantastic.
If it's like Ballerina, but with pathos.
Okay.
It's
I'm in.
excellent.
That
And
sounds
some
great.
like incredible like chase scenes and fight choreography. Oh, it's so fucking I forgot all about that movie. That
Yeah.
movie's fucking awesome. What's another one? Bittersweet. What the hell is that movie called? Bittersweet. I'll look it up. But it's like a movie where it's a Korean movie where this guy is like he's like a mob hitman, but then he gets put in a precarious situation. It's one of the guy. It's the guy that's the lead in the new Chan Woo Park movie, which I still need to watch.
Oh,
Uh,
no other choice.
Yeah, hold on. Anyway, continue. I'll think of the name of this movie.
The second thing I watched.
Hey, have
Go ahead.
you seen the Vengeance trilogy?
Oh, so
Oh
good.
no, I need to watch that.
You haven't seen? Oh, you gotta watch
I think
that.
okay. What's in it? Because I've seen. I'm pretty sure.
It's Sympathy for Lady Vengeance,
Lady
Sympathy,
Vengeance,
Mr.
Sympathy-
Vengeance, and Old
Sympathy.
Boy.
Okay, so I've
Yeah.
seen Old Boy, but I it's been a long time, so I should go back and do that.
That movie I was trying to think of is called A Bittersweet Life, and it's
Okay.
really fucking good. Also, that same guy and the guy from Old Boy is in a movie called I Saw the Devil, which I highly recommend.
Oh, I saw the devil
Okay.
fucking
So
rules. Yeah.
good. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Fucking
my
South
intro
Korea.
was I'm a cyborg and that's okay.
I like that movie
That
too.
was like
That's
my
another.
first sort of big Korean movie that I saw where I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's a good one. Park Chan Wook
Nate,
rock.
don't watch I Saw the Devil if you're like in bad headspace.
It's a dark movie, but it's so fucking good. It's crazy.
It's an only God forgives kind of situation. Don't watch it if you're not feeling great.
Yeah, honestly.
Probably
Yeah,
worse.
it's
Okay.
kind of worse. Yeah.
Great.
Well, the only God forgives is like one of the
Oh no,
best
it's an
movies
excellent
ever
movie,
made,
but
and
yeah,
I'll die
like
on that hill.
it's a bit heavy if you're in a
That only I know like Sean and I are like the biggest boosters for Only God Forgives, but that's a movie that I fucking think about all the goddamn time. Like I think that movie is so fucking good. But anyway, continue. Nate. Sorry.
the other thing I watched
hijacked your whole
was-
segment.
Marty Supreme.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
how was
really
that?
liked it. It's got
been
everything
meaning
you
to
would
watch it.
want from a Safdie kind of film, right? Like it's very tense. Chalamet is perfectly squirrely, but also like so cocky that it's compelling. And he says the funniest shit because he's an asshole, and that's kind of the whole thing. But there's really powerful moments in it, and it got me like really excited for ping pong stuff to happen,
yeah.
which is interesting.
Not since
It's
Forrest Gump did you care about ping pong so much.
seriously.
Well, since we got a little bit of leg room, since we're down a couple people, does anybody know what the beef between the Safdie brothers is?
No.
Because I heard they like
Yeah, I
hate
don't
each other.
Yeah, I was hoping we wouldn't have to talk about this because that's what I follow this one film critic on TikTok, and I like him, but like sometimes he's a little too libbed up for me. And I'm gonna say this situation and understand that it sounds bad and it's really bad, but also like I don't know, like I feel like there's still like a lot of room, and it sounds like a fucking gross gray area. And like this guy's always like, hey, these guys suck. Like everything they make sucks now. It's like that thing. Like we all don't like Quentin Tarantino for a lot of reasons. Currently living in Israel, but I still love his
Yeah.
movies. And even if he turned out to be like the worst person in the world, I'd be like, well, I still like his movie. You know what I mean?
I mean, I still love Chinatown,
Right.
so it's like I
Exactly.
can't. Really,
But
yeah.
my point is, so what happened with the Safdies is apparently you've all seen Good Time. We've all talked about it on the show. I
Yeah,
think.
totally.
Yeah.
Excellent
You
movie.
remember the guy in Good Time who's like the like Weasley guy, the guy that ends up getting like fucked up, and he has that scene that memed all the time where it's like, you think you're better than me? So
Mhm.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guy, so the Safdies, like famously, they're all about that like Abel Ferrara like realism, right? So they hire a lot of like non-actors to be in their movies because they go for that kind of verisimilitude, for lack of a better term. And apparently that guy, there was a scene that was cut in the movie. It's not in the final cut of the movie, but there's a scene where that guy is with a young girl and there's like a sex scene, right? And apparently that girl was underage and that guy was like a creep. I guess that guy was like legitimately like just out of jail and just out of rehab. And I guess there was like an incident on set where he like exposed himself to her and it was like very, it's gross. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And the thing that I don't understand is that so the one brother, how all this, that movie got made years ago. Like why this all came out now. But then the story goes that the Safdies worked with this producer whose name eludes me right now, but he's really slimy, and he was the one that hired the girl. And this all happened under their watch. And I guess I don't know. I guess the rift came between the brothers because they worked with this producer. But at the same time, like reading this story, and I encourage everybody to read it, and I'm not condoning anything. It's a bad situation. It sounds awful.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, anything that happened was a good thing or anything like that. It's terrible. But the thing is that I feel like the blame should go to this producer, right? Like if I'm working, and I don't know, I've never made a movie, but like I feel like if you hire a guy that's a movie producer that's supposed to get your cast and crew, shouldn't he be the one checking IDs and stuff? Like, is that really the director's responsibility? Like, and again, like, I don't know, it's a tricky situation because again, this guy that they hired isn't an actor and not professional, and that's going to be expected. And again, that's gross too. But like, I don't know how much of it is their responsibility and how much of it isn't. I don't know. But that's apparently where this rift came from. And that's also why like people now are just like the Safdies are awful and they're terrible and everything they do sucks. And I'm just like, well, that's kind of an overreaction. Like, again, I'm not. It sounds like a bad situation that they should have seen their way out of and they should have stopped it before it happened. But like, I don't know. It sounds very complicated, and I don't understand why the guy that was the producer, because apparently this guy is like a scumbag and was like hiring people off of Facebook and then promising work and doing the whole casting couch thing. And like, it sounds like the hate should go to this guy, not the Safdies. But I don't know. They did work with him, so that's also probably a slight against their character. But that's where all that comes from.
And the guy that did the exposing, I guess, like was high during when he did that, and he OD'd. He died.
Yeah, that guy died. Yeah,
but like 3 years ago.
They made a movie that I really love called Heaven Knows What, and it's about this like heroin addict, and the main actress, like the lead actress, is like, it's kind of a crazy story. Like one of the Safdies met her like at like outside of an airport, and she was homeless, and she basically told them her life story, and they turned it into a movie. And she is amazing in this movie, but she's like literally like off the street. And again, they did that a lot. They did that, they did that Abel Ferrara thing. They did that Pasolini thing where like, we want realism, so we hire real people and not actors. And I'm not saying it's justified. They should have kept a better eye on things. But I also, I'm not, I don't know. To me, it's not like, I don't know. This is probably the wrong way to approach things. But like in our current climate where people are literally fucking kids left and right, like, this seems like not as
and eating them.
Yeah, this doesn't seem as bad. Like it seems like a poor judgment call. I agree with that, but like I'm not like the Safdies didn't abuse this girl. The Safdies did. I mean, they put her in a bad situation, and I recognize that, but I don't know. To me, there's levels to these things, and I don't know. Again, like cancel me, I guess. I don't know. I read the story and I was like, yeah, that's awful, but like, why aren't people yelling at this producer? Why is it all going to them? But I don't know. At the end of the day, their name's on the movie, so I guess that's why. But
right,
I do want to see Marty Supreme. I've been meaning to watch it for weeks at this point because it's been on the Plex forever.
For Abel Ferrara alone in the movie, because
he's
in the movie.
Hell yeah,
he plays a very interesting character. There's some like he's in one of the most like a very surprising scene. There's I don't want to ruin any of the movie, but like he is so important to the movie, and it's so crazy because he's menacing. It's great.
I love Abel Ferrara, and I think like we
maybe our most underrated American director.
1000%. I think we talked about this a million years ago. We talked about Uncut Gems, but like Bad Lieutenant's DNA is all over Uncut Gems, like that. You know what I mean? Like what's his name? The New York sportscaster, because Mad Dog is in Bad Lieutenant. And the guy that used to be with Mad Dog is in Uncut Gems. I can't think of his name. He's the guy that he makes the bet with. Sean,
Mike, what?
Francesca?
Mike, what's his face? The fat guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
I also heard that people didn't like Marty Supreme because that one like rich dickhead that's on
Mr.
Shark Tank
Wonderful
is.
is in it. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like, I hate that guy too. But like, I don't know if like I'm again. Do I hate the movie because he's in it? Like, I don't really
Also,
care.
he's a shithead in the movie, so it kind of works. Like, I don't know. It was sort of an augmented reality experience for me where I was like, oh, this
Right.
asshole. And it's not like they're trying to redeem him. He's an asshole. Like it's,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
don't know.
Uh the last thing I watched was Tenebrae, if I'm
Oh, you watched
pronouncing that
Tenebrae.
correctly.
What'd you
Tenebrae.
think? Yeah.
I loved it. I thought
Yeah,
like it
it's
was
so
really.
good.
I mean, my very brief review was that Peter Neal sucks and the score bangs. Like it is the
Yeah.
most fun to listen to movie. His character is awful from top to bottom, um, but it's so good. It was so
Yeah,
like
it's
it's so
awesome.
beautiful. It's so like yeah. I don't know. I was riveted to the whole
You watched
thing.
your first proper Giallo movie. Look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Very
I'm
good.
getting into it. So the quote that I had from that was, "I swear, if there was a World Cup for boredom, those guys would win for Italy, no contest." Which is something he says after like going to lunch with people. Uh, but there's the scene where he's talking with his buddy, who was the martial artist guy that was in like a couple of Bruce Lee films, but he's
Yeah,
playing his
yeah.
agent or whatever.
It's what's his name? John Saxon, right?
Yeah, John
Isn't it John?
Saxon.
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh yeah,
not,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah.
Heather, what's her face?
And
Yeah.
Saxon has a hat that he puts on, and they have this inexplicable scene where he's like, the hat doesn't fall off. He's like, the fall off. It's like, yeah, if you move around, doesn't it fall off? He's like, no, it doesn't. And he shakes around for a second, and he's like, fall off, and that's this. And then they cut.
That's the scene.
Yeah, that's the scene. It was brilliant though, because I was like, this is great. It's just fucking ribbit. It's so much fun.
Hell yeah.
And really like just great. Like, I don't know. I'm so into the very visceral, very direct effects of this
Oh yeah.
era. Like,
Yeah.
because it doesn't have to be. I know it's not really happening, but I also know it's not really happening in a movie where they spend millions of dollars on CG to
Sure.
make it seem like it's almost happening, but it looks
Yeah.
even more plasticky. This is like there's goop everywhere. Like
Yeah.
people get hit with axes and you're like, "Oh shit." Like that looks like that hurt. And I know that they
Yeah.
hit a dummy or a pad on the shoulder, but
Yeah,
that
but
looks like
it
it hurt.
looks awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
And the score in Tenebrae. Oh God.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we've gotten into Goblin, but so Argento worked with this band
Oh
of
yeah, I'm vaguely
they
familiar. Yeah.
yeah, they were all composers and they're called Goblin and they did all his movies and their soundtracks are so like they're I listen to those things independent of themselves and also a band that I never when I watched those movies when I was a teenager I never thought I'd get a chance to see Goblin and I've seen them 3 times and it's amazing and yeah I highly recommend if you haven't listened to it or actually you should go watch it watch the Argento cut of Dawn of the Dead which is affectionately like we talked about a couple weeks ago it's affectionately known as Zombie because that is a tighter version of Dawn of the Dead. They like re-edited it and they added some gore. But the best part about that version of the movie is it has the Goblin score, and the Goblin
Okay.
score to Zombie is so fucking good. Like it's brilliant. But don't
Nice.
ever listen to their album they put out independently. It's not very good. The first
Well,
time I saw them, they played a ton of that album, and I was like, "Come on, play some of the movie stuff. I want to hear the movie stuff."
No new
Yeah.
well, the
crap.
movie stuff is so energizing. Like when Tenebrae starts, like he's bicycling down the highway, but
As
the
you do.
score is making it like, oh, I'm with this. Like it, like it's
Mhm.
absurd, but I don't care because I'm feeling it. So yeah, that was all I had. Sean.
I have one last thing to say.
Yeah.
Now that you've dipped your toes into Jalo,
Mhm.
you should listen to. Speaking of music recommendations, so a band I really like, Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, and they're like a stoner rock band, but they put out an album last year that is a soundtrack to a Jalo movie that never came out. It's like a fake Jalo movie, and that soundtrack is so fucking good. And I got to see them live, and it was fucking cool because the whole thing, like they changed the whole venue. They put like curtains up and they made it like a movie screening. And before the show, they didn't have any other bands open up, but they just played movie trailers from like Euro horror stuff from the 70s. They gave out popcorn. It was fucking cool
Nice.
shit.
Oh,
And
that's
then
really cool.
they made they had so their fake movie that doesn't exist stars Franco Nero from Django fame.
Okay.
And
Django.
they actually got Franco Nero to record some voice lines.
And Ninja,
Yeah,
the
Ninja the
Domination.
Oh, Ninja 3, right?
No, he's in Ninja. He's in the first two
No,
Ninjas.
he was in Ninja.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I forgot Domination, the
That's
girl one.
my favorite one. But so they got Franco Nero to actually record some voice lines, and when they played the soundtrack, they had like backing film were like clips from this fake movie. It was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, and like I love that when that album came out, a lot of people didn't like it because it's not anything like what their previous album sounded like. But like that album specifically was made for me. I was like, this is like I ate it up. Like it's amazing. It's got some weird Italian title. Don't ask me to. And they also, if you look at the album cover, they got one of the original artists that did, because if you've ever looked at the covers to the old Argento movies, like they're beautifully like hand painted covers. They're amazing.
Yeah.
They got that one of those guys to make the fucking album cover. It's
no way.
So
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Hell
Anyway,
yeah.
sorry. This is derailed the podcast. You don't have Gogs and Alec here groaning about me talking forever, so sorry we don't get to talk about my wife as a pumpkin who killed the Amish guy or whatever on Tubi. So
Sean?
Oh yeah, me. I watched a movie, I explained a movie, and I want to talk about a book real quick. So besides the Consider Phoebus, which is still really good, by the way. Gogs had got me for Christmas or my birthday, or he gave it to me when I came to visit. It's The Art of Drew Struzan. It's the book about the poster artist.
Drew Struzan's amazing.
And like, not only is it awesome because it has all the drafts of all his famous posters, but it has shit that he did that they spec'd him for that never got made for movies. But it's just like, it's like really like unintentionally sad because like his work starts to like peter out as movie posters become the dog shit that they've become now.
So bad.
And it's like now if he gets work, it's from like Del Toro or I think Frank Darabont's still a big fan of his.
Didn't he? Is he still alive? Like, I thought he passed away. Yeah, is he still alive?
He might have just. I think he just died. Yeah. But it's a great book, and I mean it's huge. It's a big coffee table book, and like just seeing like how much work and like, you know, I mean TJ will appreciate this more than anybody. Somebody does a lot of portrait stuff.
His
like
stuff
I mean,
is...
I draw a little bit, but not to the extent that you do. Or obviously,
his stuff is like god tier. Like it's so
how
good.
many different like. Just like, but like the composition, and it's like how many different versions of like somebody's head slightly tilted, or the lighting coming in from just like it's fascinating. Like it's one of those things, and like, you know, I'm like this with certain books that I've read because like I have written books, and like Nate has too, where you see something, it's like, oh, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine being.
I feel like that. I feel like that as an artist all the time, where you just look at something and you're just like, yeah, I'm not even like, I don't even understand. Like, you know, you understand the process. You know what I mean? Like you understand the bones of how you do something, but then you see somebody like a Struzan or like an Alex Ross, and you're just like, yeah, I don't even fucking get it.
It's like this guy made this like, you know, this museum quality, like, you know, archaeologists would find this and put it in a museum.
All of his posters
for
are
adventures in babysitting.
Posters
you know what I mean?
Convey
like,
the energy of watching the movie, which I think like I'm looking at like he did Star Wars, he did Back to the Future, all these things where it's like those that's what the movie feels like in a still image that isn't a photo, right? Like
it's crazy too to think about how iconic those posters are. Like you remember them in the same breath as you remember the movie, right? Like
totally
when you said Back to the Future, like I know that poster like the back of my hand. Or like
there's like 8 different drafts of the Back to the Future poster.
He did the Thing too, didn't he? Didn't he do the Thing poster with the head? Like the guy was amazing. Like
that's like his neighbor or something with a flashlight in his mouth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's super fucking cool. But like it is like a sad commentary on how our memories and world are dying, and it's just become this like just slop. Like you know, I hate to keep beating up superhero movies, but you look at all those fucking events.
Well, and
it's just
and the thing, and we've talked about this on the show 1,000 times, but you know, Marvel has some of the greatest living artists under their roster. Like, get Alex Ross to make some fucking posters for you. Get like there's so many great artists nowadays. Like
where's my fucking like my Humberto Ramos Spider-Man
I mean, the thing is,
poster?
like, I say this all the time. Like, I don't know, comic book fans, you can never satisfy them, but I think we're personally in a golden age of comic books. There's so many talented artists out there, and it's just like hire them.
But like, could you imagine like a JR like Punisher cover?
Amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, why not?
Incredible. And I feel like people would respond to it. Like, I don't know, like, or like, I remember they did a little bit of it. Like, remember when the Ray Stevens Punisher Warzone came out? And they clearly were modeling all of those like promo shots after Tim Bradstreet drawings. And it's like, just hire Tim Bradstreet. Like, he works for you. Like,
no, because then they'll have to pay him.
But Drew Struzan, absolutely amazing. Like, one of the greatest artists of all time.
This is like a deep movie, the podcast lore, but I'm looking at this, Adventures in Babysitting thing, and it makes me think of the fucking Rush Hour Blu-ray sleeve art. That's like this beautiful like composition for the fucking Rush Hour collection on Blu-ray. I'll never get over that. The movie I explained and owned but didn't watch was Penn Jillette's The Aristocrats.
I love that movie.
Okay.
Because I was explaining.
Penn Jillette also in Marty Supreme, by the way.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I was with somebody and, they said something and I was like, The Aristocrats, and I did the snap and they're just staring at me. And so I had to like explain it, but then I made up my own Aristocrats joke and did the whole bit and whatever. And I was like, this was a movie that was released in theaters. This documentary about this fucking comedic inside joke. It's, if I remember right, like it's interesting, but it could have been 40 minutes. Like it goes like forever.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it. I remember the best part of the movie though was Gilbert Gottfried's telling of that joke. It was also R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried. He like it was his anniversary of his passing the other day. And it's just like, damn, that guy was so fucking funny.
Jane Lynch is up here spitting pussy hair all over the microphone.
That was great.
The movie I watched, I don't know if Nate is as familiar with this as everybody else is, but I watched Best of the Best again, which I always joke that like if you ask me what my favorite movie is, I'll tell you it's 2001. But if you got me like alone, I'm going to tell you it's probably Best of the Best. I fucking love that movie, and I will suffer no argument. Like it's a tournament martial arts movie. Like I fucking love it. It's got Eric Roberts with like the best ponytail in movie history. I think
hard to argue.
Like just. Yeah, I mean, beats Terry Silver.
I've only seen this once, I think, and a while ago. But
I've seen it.
I feel like wasn't there like a Best of the Best 4 or something that had the guy from Step by Step on it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm familiar with the oeuvre.
No. So Nate, you are conflating the Best of the Best series with
he's in Kickboxer 4. Okay. All right.
Correct.
Kickboxer.
So he's in Kickboxer, possibly 2 through 4.
Kickboxer and Best of the Best. I always get those two confused because I feel like they have similar plot lines, if I'm not mistaken. In Best of the Best, doesn't he fight? He fights a Thai kickboxer juggernaut, or is that no?
No. So Best of the Best, the plot is they're assembling they call it American Karate Team, but they're actually a Taekwondo team. So it's Eric Roberts works at like a automobile factory in Portland. Philip Rhee, who plays Tommy Lee, is like a martial arts instructor in California. Chris Penn is some sort of cowboy or another, who is a martial artist from Miami. There's a couple other guys whose names you wouldn't know. And then they take on the Korean national team, who are like this like special forces of Taekwondo.
What's their national? And they fly to Korea. National karate.
Yeah, James Earl Jones is the coach for reasons I can't. His name is Frank Cuso, also for reasons I can't readily explain. The movie fucking rules. So Philip Rhee's real life brother Simon Rhee, they're both like stunt coordinators now. Plays Daehan, the one-eyed Taekwondo champion who killed Tommy's brother when he was a kid, and Tommy has the opportunity to kill him in this nationally televised tournament. But James Earl Jones goes, it's my favorite example of underacting and overacting in the same scene because Alex Grady, Eric Roberts, like, Coach, now he's gonna kill him, Tommy. Tommy's gonna kill him. He's doing his Pope of Greenwich Village.
You reference that line all the time, too.
Yeah, he's doing his Pope of Greenwich Village. They took my thumbs, shit. And James Earl Jones just goes, no, Tommy, no. So he doesn't do it, but
Hell
he
yeah.
could. And they win the silver medal because there's only two teams
Right.
competing. But I love that movie so much. TJ.
I wonder if I should just hold off till next week because I watched the Japanese
Yeah.
remake of Cube, but I'll just say this because I want to bring it up with Gogs, who is a Cube. If those of you don't know, the listen to the show, Gogs is our foremost Cube expert on the original Cube films and Cube 2 Hypercube, which is just fun to say. And I just was looking for a movie to watch. I was just doing. It's funny. I got literally, I think it's like 1,300 movies on the Plex. When I go to watch a movie, where do I go? I'm like scrolling Amazon, scrolling Netflix. Like I download all these movies, but I'm like, let's see what else I can watch. And I came across, I wanted to watch like a Japanese horror movie, and I came across Cube, and it's a Japanese remake of Cube. And I was like, Gogs is always talking about this fucking movie. I know he's talking about the original. But I'm like, I don't know. Let's see what the Japanese got. This movie is so fucking boring. Like nothing happens in the whole fucking movie. And like, I want to know if the original is like this, because apparently the original is like super violent. This is not super violent. It's trying to be like, I don't know. It's trying to be more like psychological because I don't think they had any money. But it's so boring. And like, it's an interesting premise for about 10 minutes. And then it's just like, oh, they just keep moving into the same room over and over and over again, and they just
that's
bicker at
the
each
original
other.
Cube too. I saw the original.
Oh,
Cube
you've seen
years
it?
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it like when they fall into the traps and stuff? Isn't it like super gory? Like there's got to be some.
I remember at least the implication of gore. I don't know that it was actually gory, but I haven't watched them since probably the year 2000, so I don't know.
Also, do you remember? And you might not. This is why I needed Gogs, because he loves Cube. We've talked about Cube. Me and Gogs have talked about Cube and Cube Tube Hypercube for like 20 years. I've never watched it. But in the original Cube, do you ever find out like the masters of the Cube or why the people are in there? Because in the Japanese version, you don't.
Yeah, I don't think you do. As I recall, it's like it's they're moving through a maze. They get picked off one by one by each of the cubes, which are all. I mean, it's admirable because it's like how many different orifices can people crawl into the same cube with different lighting, and we are convinced that we're moving around space, which is kind of a commentary on movies, right? Because movies are just still pictures that move fast enough that you think it's moving. I guess.
I kind of like the concept because it's kind of an interesting idea, and it's kind of like I do think in a better movie, it's fun to how you can ramp up the tension and maybe introduce something interesting about the characters. But the characters in this movie are just boring. And like I read I always do, I Googled it after I watched the movie. And I guess like the biggest difference between this and the original is that they added things that like made it, they said, how did they word it? They said they added plot elements that were more relevant to Japanese culture. Mm-hmm. And all that I saw in that is that there's, and I don't know, I'm not Japanese. I've never lived in Japan. I've consumed massive amounts of Japanese media.
Hentai mostly.
Shout out to Orejo Saki Doji, my first anime, Legend of the Overfiend.
That was your first anime
story before. I
don't remember being the first one you ever saw. Well, Jesus Christ, technically,
if you want to get technical, I mean, Robotech was my first, but I didn't understand that was a Japanese cartoon back then. But obviously, shout out to Robotech, Macross, love Robotech. I cried when Roy Falker died. Anyway,
spoilers.
Well, I didn't think it happens but also like when I was a kid, I didn't think people died in cartoons. I didn't think that was a real thing.
I remember like the G.I. Joe cartoon when isn't it like the sailor guy like goes nuts and dies?
The Shipwreck die? I love Shipwreck. Damn. Yeah. R.I.P. Shipwreck.
There's like a whole
Our first queer representation.
Yeah. But no, I'll tell the story real quick. It's funny because I just told a friend of the show, Matt McCormick, the story on Instagram. But my dad took me. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there used to be, and there probably still are, but there used to be like little tiny comic book conventions at like hotels, like little
sure, yeah.
tiny.
Like I went to a couple of like Star Trek conventions of the same thing, where it's
Yeah,
like
but they were
this
just
is not even the airport Ramada.
no.
It's like a Ramada that has a ballroom,
Yeah, and it
and
was
by
like
ballroom I mean like a
yeah, we're not
6 foot tall ceiling room
yeah,
with
we're not
folding
talking about a
chairs.
convention center. We're talking about a tiny little room, and it was just to sell comic books. And sometimes they would have a guest. I met Joe Madureira. If you guys are familiar with him, he was a pretty big artist in the '90s. But I met him when he
Oh
just
yeah.
got started. He did this Deadpool
I
miniseries.
now I know who you're talking about. Like the way you said his name was like so. Like I was
How do
like,
you say his name?
what?
I don't even know how you say his name. I
I believe it's
Madeira.
Madeira.
Oh yeah. Well, he's great. And he
Yeah.
was like, I met him. He must have been like, I mean, I was probably like 13 or 14, but he was like in his 20s. He just did this Deadpool miniseries, and I met him, and he was super nice. And I met Sal Buscema, R.I.P. to an old Marvel legend. He used to draw Spider-Man, but like they used to sometimes get like little local guys that were like in the area, and they'd get like one guest. I got to meet Joe Jusko, but anyway, that's besides the point. But they used to sell mostly comic books. For those of you nowadays, if you're younger, like comic book conventions used to really just be about like comic books. And then sometimes because anime was still like pretty much in its infancy back then, and at least in America, obviously. And eventually you got the tables that had all the bootleg Japanese anime VHS tapes, but there used to always be a smattering of guys that would sell like the commercially available anime tapes, which back then were hard to find. But I remember I saw my dad took me to this convention, right? And my dad clearly hated to be there, just wanted to fucking leave. You know what I mean? Like he was just like, I don't want to be here. This is nerd shit. You're gay. Um, uh, but I saw the tape for Reijo Sakidoji, and the cover is fucking cool. It's this like demon, and it's like, oh, this looks fucking metal. And I was like, dude, I want this. And my dad's like, yeah, all right, I don't care. And the guy selling us the tape, he looks at my dad and he goes, you know that's porn, right? And my dad, like one of the rare Tim Stanball W's in my life, my dad looks at the guy and he goes, it's fucking cartoons. And he's like, give him the tape. That was my
And they were both right somehow.
that was my first anime tape, and man, I popped that thing, and I was like, "Whoa!" but yeah,
Even Nate had a hard time like assigning artistic value to that. Like he's usually pretty
yeah,
good at
That
it.
shit-
that was tricky.
that shit
Although
was so-
you know, a lifetime
This
has
is
passed
so-
since then.
this is so fucking old that back then we didn't even call it anime. We used to call it Japanimation. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you were
No, I
super
remember that.
racist and not realize that people used to call it Japimation, which I didn't realize was a
Yeah.
racist term until I
I
was
mean, honestly, they should bring back Japanimation. That shit sounds cooler.
Japanimation. That's what it used to be called. That's what people used to call it, and then we shortened it to anime. But anyway, way back what I was talking about is there's something in Japanese media. It's in a lot of different things. It's in Battle Royale. It's in Akira. It's in a lot of different things. It was in that movie Best Wishes to All that I talked about a few months ago. There's a thing about the youth versus old people in Japanese culture, and that's the only thing they add to Cube. Like there's this old guy, and like the younger people don't like him. It's never really explained why. And then the one main character who is like the main character, like you find out like his brother like killed himself for some reason, and that's like the only motivation he had. Like the movie is just it's not good. Don't watch it. It's terrible. The only thing good about this movie is that it got me talking about my fun Reijo Sakidoji story. That's about it.
Were
but
the
that's all I
characters
watched.
named after Japanese prisons?
I don't know. I
'Cause
I don't even remember the names of the characters. Like
That's
honestly,
that's a
and then
factoid
at
from the original Cube. Is they're all named
at
after
the end of the movie,
prisons.
the end of the movie, one of the characters is revealed to be a robot that's like recording all of them for reasons because you never find out who's running the cube or why they're in the cube. None of them have anything interesting happen to them. Like the one character is like motivated to escape because like he has like a wife potentially, but then he's like it might be too late, and then he just dies, and it's like what? Like I don't know. Like I don't know how you write the script, and you're like, okay, none of these characters are compelling or interesting, and they have no real like, there's no like character progression with any of them, and they have no real like movement, right? Like there's no motivating factors for any of them.
Well,
And it's like,
there's not time because it's effectively like, what if Saw was, what if Saw was Saw 2, but there was only one thing and it did kind of the same thing
yeah,
the whole
but
time.
the problem is that you're stuck with these characters for the whole movie, and it's a bottle movie. I know they keep moving to the different rooms, but they all look the same. So you're watching an hour and a half movie that doesn't really change, and nothing really changes about it. So there's nothing to like hold on to. You're like, I guess the thing that I guess the director and the writer thought is like the mystery of the cube would like guide you through the movie, but like it loses like I did a true movie, the podcast thing, where I paused this movie and I was like, I have 45 minutes left. Are you kidding me? But anyway, that's all I watched. Also, for Gone in 60 Seconds, there's a part in this movie where I was convinced the movie was about to be over, and there was an hour left, and I was like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. All right.
Okay.
Well, Nate, what happened?
I'll go
in
through
Gone in
this
60
thing.
Seconds?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of crib from Wikipedia just because I kind of remember, but I kind of it's anyway. Look, Giovanni
Fine.
Ribisi and his buddies are gonna go steal a Porsche, but they're
Dude, okay.
idiots.
First,
Pause.
right, I got Sean. You go ahead. You're probably saying the same
Pause.
thing.
Stop. I assume Nick or why can't I say his name? Giovanni Ribisi is doing like a Nicolas Cage
It's so
impression to imply that
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are
yeah,
related. However, it is like impossibly distracting, and I hate it.
No,
Go ahead,
I was
TJ.
going to say that like so these guys it's established early on that these guys have already stolen like a ton of cars, and
Yeah, they're like
like
professional car thieves.
they're professional car thieves, and they're close to their goal, right? Like because they have that whole like writing on the wall where they've gotten all these cars, and they're close to their goal. So like I guess like I don't know if it's implied that this Porsche is the last car they need, but these professional car thieves decide that the best way to get this car is just literally bust open the dealership and drive off with like the Grand Theft Auto like maximum cop level behind them, and just drive to their hideout, and then the whole thing is like shot up. It's like, what the fuck did you expect? Like I thought these guys were professionals. Like if you asked me how to steal a car,
well, they needed the movie to happen,
right?
Yeah,
but like,
yeah,
if you told me, hey, you have to steal a car, or like your mom's gonna get killed, and like I had a big rock, and I guess I'm like, well, I guess this is how I'm gonna do it. Like I've never done, I've never stolen a car before, but I guess this is it. Meanwhile, and this will be a continuing theme of this whole movie, Giovanni Ribisi has this character who's a black guy. It's important to point this out because he's super racist, but his job in this whole movie is to just go, oh damn, like every time, and it's like, this is making me uncomfortable like right away. It was just like, that's like his whole job in the movie is just go,
I'm just here to say that's
basically.
Yeah, because he does it on a rooftop later. He's constantly displaying his discomfort with what's going on in a 2000s street wise sort of way. So it's
well, I said it in the text, but I liked it, so I want to repeat it. This movie like is written by people who don't understand crime, so everybody speaks in this like nigh incomprehensible crime jive. Like it goes away after a while, but like they're just like all kinds of shit. They have their own slang. It's like fucking like Droog speak in Clockwork Orange for half the movie. Like what the fuck are they babbling about?
And it's I think all in service of the idea that like, how cool are these guys? Like this is such a welcome to this weird world you don't understand, where car thieves are actually kind of like cool superheroes. I mean, also the ultimate stance of this movie is that the car thieves we're watching are like the middle of criminals, where there's cops who are good. The cops are just plain good in this movie. There are bad criminals, which is Christopher Eccleston, and then there is good criminals who are the people in the middle who are stealing all the cars.
Yeah, what's the Dungeons and Dragon thing? They're like chaotic.
They're like chaotic
good.
neutral. Yeah, or they're chaotic good. Like they're just kind of doing whatever they're doing, but they're not out to hurt anybody.
One thing before I forget, like usually in like heist movies, and I think Ocean's 11 probably does it better. Even though I don't think that movie's great either. like you usually have people that have like unique skill sets, and that's why
Right.
you have this like diverse array of people. But besides that one guy that has the in at the car dealership, they all kind of just do the same
yeah.
thing.
It's sort of that
So
Nick
like
Cage
I
is
don't
the
know,
only
like
expert who's actually good. Everybody else is kind of bumblefucking their way through
And
everything.
Vinny Jones is just like a big tough guy that doesn't talk. Like
Right.
yeah,
Well,
like,
but hey, he's working in a morgue and he just sets a sandwich on a corpse because he's that tough. He's hard.
yeah.
He
But
doesn't
then
care.
Sean's right. Like none of these people have particular skills. Like the oh damn guy, he's like I guess an alarm expert, but he doesn't really do anything. And like it's very strange. The movie is very strange in general.
Duvall's really good at fixing cars and also crossing things
Also,
off on a chalkboard.
he is
well, you
wasted
have
in this
to
movie. I
thing
gotta
is,
say
you
that
have
Robert Duvall is
yeah.
trying his heart out in a movie that just doesn't care. Like I will say, like, and I love Robert Duvall, but like
He's much better in this
go ahead. So,
in the same role in Days of
oh
Thunder.
yeah,
He's playing like essentially
Well, he
the
doesn't
same
have any
character.
emotional arc in this movie, which is part of the thing.
No.
Like he doesn't have to
Yeah.
he's not the one that talks anybody down. He's not the one who like he doesn't make a sacrifice that's meaningful. Like there's no
Yeah, he's not the one that they can turn to because he did the same thing and it all went
Right.
sideways and like oh well,
He
he's
also
just
has my-
the older
he's
guy.
just
he also has my favorite movie trope where he's like, "Oh, I'm retired," and it's like, well, "I need you." He's like, "Okay," like it's just like it's
Well,
like
they're-
all right.
But in fairness, they're all like that in the whole
Yeah.
movie. It's like I'm retired and
Yeah.
have clearly
Well,
moved
it's
on
like-
and have an upstanding normal job. Never mind, I'm fine. I'll quit that
Yeah.
and go back to do this.
it is. They do have the heist movie D&D party. Whoever was talking about D&D earlier, it's like they have the old guy, the main guy, the woman,
yeah.
like the
Oh, yeah.
young guy who's the Will Scarlet type, and then like assorted other characters with like 3 or 4 persons of color.
I can't think of his name, but the young guy is also he's one of the guys in the Doom Generation, which is a movie I really like, and I was like, I wish I was watching that movie the whole time.
Well, isn't Scott Conn in this and in Ocean's 11
Believe so.
or one of
Also,
the
this
sequels?
movie
Yeah.
reminded me
think
Scott Conn exists. I was like, oh yeah,
And that
Scott
facial
Conn.
hair, right? It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
long sideburns with the sharp partial beard
It's-
situation,
yeah,
and
it
then
brought me back to a lot
Boy,
of
howdy.
chain wallets and Disturbed.
and he's really, he's got the hair up so high to gain like 3 inches, so that he's like 5'8".
Yeah, it
Notoriously
was-
short man.
Yeah, he's approaching Tower Man 5,000 levels of hair.
So Giovanni Ribisi does this. He steals the most conspicuous car from the most conspicuous location, in the most conspicuous way, and somehow the police find them.
Right.
So then they have to run away, and that leads us to get introduced to our 2 cops, which are Delroy Lindo, the connector in this movie, and Timothy Oliphant, who
Yeah.
Delroy Lindo is playing nice police officer in a Hawaiian shirt, and Timothy Oliphant is playing I don't know what. Like he's
I don't know
he's
what the
stiff,
deal
the
is.
accent is kind of incomprehensible, and he's just
I feel like he's like really against type in this movie. Like he does not do whatever he's doing particularly well.
he's kind of like we need someone to do the exposition, like the narrator read as we enter the scene. Will you do that, Timothy Oliphant? And then he's like, oh yeah, hey, this guy over here that I just talked to, he's got the information. Scene begins.
See, like I feel like in a better movie, the Timothy Elephant character is like a funny guy. Like you need somebody to like play off of Delroy Lindo, who's like the straight by the
they
numbers
could
cop.
have like a Lethal Weapon vibe, but they have no vibe. They're just
No.
2 detectives doing detective thing.
Yeah, and Delroy Lindo, he's another actor in this movie that's trying his heart out, but it's just like for nothing. Like all his scenes are like really rough. That scene later on where he's like, "Don't ever talk about my wife." It's like, okay, like what is this?
So they impound all the cars, and then after the impounding happens, Will Patton, who is part of, I guess,
The singer for Mr. Bungle.
he's I guess Nicolas Cage's old friend, but he also now works for Christopher Eccleston or knows Christopher Eccleston. He's like, okay, cool, we're kidnapping Giovanni Ribisi, whatever. He goes to see Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage opens the movie by starting to give a speech that I guess sounds like a half-hearted "this is how you drive a race car" speech, but the camera pans down and he's talking to children who are going to get into go-karts, which is kind of cute. It's not, I'm not saying it's not cute. It's fine. He picks the one kid up
I
and
don't
he's
hate
like,
it.
"What are you doing? You're terrible!" Like he's yelling at the
I'm gonna say
bespectacled little
this.
child about his driving.
You need more of this Cage in this movie. Like he's not full like Cage. There's like a couple of scenes like that scene's good. The scene where he goes to the car dealership,
Yeah, and he's like, two Rogers don't make a right.
I'm an exquisite man and I have exquisite taste. And like that scene was hilarious, but like he's too like I don't know, he's not cagey enough for me. He's not like if he was like full on insane the whole movie, it'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah,
But,
like he doesn't like because even when he meets Angelina Jolie and they go to the bar and she's like, "So what are you like a televangelist now?" And he's like, "You're healed." He puts his hand out and he like
Yeah.
reaches toward her face, but he doesn't
Yeah.
hit it the way that like Cage in 5 years hits that
He
line.
could like really pop
they have
her.
like the weirdest
Yeah.
like well, first of all, like
have-
Angelina Jolie, she's super hot, obviously, going out on a limb on that one, but especially this era of Angelina Jolie, but like they have zero chemistry. Like it is
Yeah,
it is
Yeah.
weird. It's like I know Cage is probably much
I don't
older
know
than
what
her,
they're-
but like
That's what I was gonna say. Like he comes across like her father
Yeah,
almost in
and
this.
also like they're supposed to be like the fucking like sexy like bad for you couple, but like they never it's written that way, but it never comes off that way.
no, because
And,
their
like
scene where they're kind of fooling around in the
also
car
possibly
is
one of the worst sex
Yeah.
scenes. Yeah.
oh yeah.
it's uncomfortable to the point where you're like, "Oh, this is like no, this isn't supposed
Well,
to."
because they gotta work a bunch of they have to work a bunch of car jargon into the sex scene, which is not
Right.
cute.
No.
I guess we better put this
Also,
in
can
reverse.
we talk about Nicholas Cage's impossible name?
Yeah,
What is
Memphis.
Memphis
Yeah.
Reigns.
Randall Memphis Reigns.
It's Roman's uncle.
So we meet him. He's living the normal life. He's doing this running a go-kart situation / gas station combo. And that's when Will Patton shows up and he's like, "Hey, so here's the deal. Your dipshit brother is going to be killed and you're going to have to do this thing. So come with me to the junkyard." They go to the junkyard. Giovanni Ribisi is inside a car that's in the car compressor. And this is where Christopher Eccleston's like, "I'm British and I also have crime expectations and
He
your brother
also is
pissed me
a
off."
He's
Yo,
also a
he
carpenter
sucks.
or whatever. Yeah, like because villains used to have just like let's give him a weird quirk, and it was just like this. I will say
Well,
I
he-
neglected to mention there is one good Nick Cage scene in this moment where he's like, "Do I look like an asshole or do I look like a dick?" And Nick Cage is like, "Yeah." That was funny. I had to laugh at that.
He also like it turns out that like even though this whole car thing is the driving force of the movie,
Unintended.
like he's only using the car stealing as thanks, as like a front or a side hustle or something to like buttress his murder job.
Yeah.
Like I
He
don't
makes
know
shares, murders people, and I guess he has to steal 50 cars in a certain yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Hey, we're gonna kill your brother unless you steal these 50 cars for us in 72 hours." Nicolas Cage is like, "I'm not doing that." He grabs a gun, then he starts crushing the car, and it's like, okay, well, then yeah, that's it. It's totally like there's no actual tension there because you know that again the movie has to happen. So whatever. So he agrees to do that, and that's the deal. But the thing that's fucked up is that Eccleston doesn't keep the brother, which would be the thing that somebody who was serious about such a wager
Yeah.
would do. He instead is like, "Yeah, you and your brother can leave." Where, I mean, I don't know, it's the year 2000 where GPS barely exists and you could literally leave the state or country and it would be difficult to
Yeah,
find you.
And whatever you do, don't rat out my criminal
Right.
enterprise
Don't say
to the
anything.
police.
People who can steal modes of transportation seemingly at will. But whatever, yeah. So the movie has to happen. So they they're running around, I guess, and then somewhere in here, Memphis goes to see his mom because
His
the
mom
mom
played
from
by,
Twin Peaks has to just have the worst
yeah.
kids ever always. So he shows up to be like, "Hey, mama, I love you," and she's like, "Oh, you're so handsome," and then that's a scene for a reason.
Yeah, that's it. We didn't talk about this. I'm gonna forget about it. But this movie opens with some of the worst photoshopped photos you've ever seen in your life. Because for some reason they decide to like show like Giovanni Ribisi when he was a kid and Nick Cage when he was younger, but like they literally look like they took like a picture and then like glued their face on top of the picture. So bad.
The opening sequence is also a very late 90s thing where it's slow panning across like a table of car parts, but then it does like a quick speed ramp for a second to jump to a different section of it. but
remember when
literally nothing's happening.
every movie used to do that. Remember like the intros to like the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, they all did that.
Oh,
And,
totally.
like,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
it was the thing. It was the style.
Ugh, awful.
So now Memphis has to build his crew because obviously he can't steal 50 cars in 72 hours all by himself. So he goes and he gets Robert Duvall. He gets who else? He
The
gets
guy from Waiting.
the driving instructor guy who was on
Oh,
the practice.
yeah, I
Wait,
can't
what was
think of
he
that
on?
actor's name, but
He's been in
good.
a bunch of stuff.
He actually, I thought, like, aside from the opening joke that he has where he's like, black people can't
G.
swim and
McBride.
Asian people can't drive. That
Yeah,
was
yeah, that was his
fun.
whole thing. He's a driving instructor, and he's like, "Yeah, look, you can't drive, Asian woman driver. I know I can't swim. I just don't do it. Maybe you shouldn't do this."
I wish Gogs
Figure
was here
things
because
out.
there's a scene that reminded me so much of Gogs, and I'm sure he would have brought it up. When there's a part in the movie where they're stealing a car, and somebody like tries to like carjack them, and he's like, you don't take any art, or you're not using any skill to do what you're doing," and like I don't know, that screamed Gog
Yeah.
scene to me. Like I was like, yeah, but
So yeah, then Vinnie Jones, who is a mortician, he's introduced eating a sandwich, and he leaves the half sandwich on a body.
that's
Totally.
how you catch dead. You can't do that.
And because he's mute in the movie until the very end when he delivers the ending soliloquy.
Yeah. Also, at one point, Vinnie Jones steals a car, and that's when they have the "oh shit, a snake!" But he ends up like fucking that car up like ridiculous, and it's like, well, that car's no good anymore because he like runs it over like a parking lot petition and all this shit. It's just like, well, that car is like completely fucked up. Like, I don't think they're gonna take that one anymore. But
And then the
I
last
don't
person
know.
is Angelina Jolie, whose character's name is Sway.
Sway, yeah,
Right?
and she
Houseway.
has the worst white people dreadlocks you've ever. She looks like one of the Merovingians crew from the
Yeah,
Matrix.
she does. That's good.
He looks like she is in a sequel to Hackers.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this is what happens to Acid
Shout out
Burn.
to Hackers.
When she
That,
gets
that
over
fucking
there.
movie.
Steal the Planet. That's
Dude.
this movie.
Also, peak Angelina Jolie. That movie did a lot for me as
Oh, that Romulan
Yeah,
haircut
and
she
Body
got.
Glove.
that movie
No.
did a lot for me as a youth. I could say that.
And
Made
then
me want to spray paint my keyboard.
and then there are two meanings to that. So Giovanni Ribisi and his crew also volunteer to help out. Duh. So they start putting together a list of cars. They give all the cars a woman's name because that's what you do with cars.
Because this is much less confusing by assigning them 60 some cars or 50 cars individual women's names, and expecting you to remember which one's which.
Yeah, the idea that Duvall is sitting there and like Cage says, "Oh, we got Candace," and then he's like, "Fuck." Like spending 15 minutes
Right, yeah.
looking around this chalkboard, which is all
He's got-
scrawled in handwriting too. It's not like they printed things out. This
yeah,
is
no.
yeah.
Right.
But he also wants to get Eleanor, which is a 67 Shelby GT 500.
In retrospect, so instead of tipping off any police who are listening that they're stealing cars, now it sounds like they're running a human trafficking
Right.
operation.
True.
It's a very Wayfair situation.
Yeah. But also,
so-
like, I help me.
Mr. Epstein says you got to get his girls.
So the Mustang that the what Eleanor or whatever. So like he has got history with that
He
car.
tried to steal the car before, but he failed, and he wants to. If he's gonna get back into the game, he might as well steal the car he couldn't steal before.
Yeah, that part was.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but they did make more than one.
I
of
was
those
thinking
cars. Like they didn't make a ton of them, but like there was certainly more than that one.
Now it is the same car that is in the 1974 version of the movie, so it's just a fan servicey thing too.
It is a cool ass car though. I'll give it that.
Oh, yeah, it's a great
fucking
car.
Sick car.
So they're scouting the cars and things like that, and then there's this rival gang that I think is like a Hispanic gang, perhaps.
It's led by Master P.
Yeah,
Which
noted Hispanic.
Well, that shows you how well I watched the movie.
Okay.
But yeah, so at some point in their altercation, Nicolas Cage blows up one of their cars.
yeah.
So yeah, there's your that's really your only antagonist in the movie because otherwise there is no antagonist other than a clock that doesn't actually seem to matter. Uh,
No.
so the
Yeah,
two cops,
the time in this movie doesn't make any sense because they're like, we're so like at one point Robert Duvall's like, we got to do this all in one night. But then the way that the movie's cut, it's like there's no way this happened all at once. Like it's very odd because there's breaks in between when they steal the cars. So it's like I
yeah,
don't know the
they
way
all have time to go back to their base to
the
have
base,
like a
yeah.
conversation face to face. The three guys have time to wait on a dog to shit for like I don't know how many hours.
So as a we all love dogs here. Like Robert Duvall isn't concerned at all about his dog passing these fucking keys, which would rip the dog's asshole to shreds. Like I
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
But they just loaded him up with fucking Metamucil, which is I'm sure what the vet would recommend.
So yeah. So the
and then at one
cops
point, I'm sorry, Nate. At
go
one
ahead.
point, Robert Duvall's like, "Oh, he usually eats license plates." It's like this fucking dog has been abused for years. This dog's eating license plates. The fuck?
Uh, so the cops at some point prior to this have found out they found a guy working at the docks as a fisherman who is just like a rat. He just tells them whatever and he knows literally everything.
No,
He's like the Turk from fucking
Yeah. So all,
Daredevil.
all they have to do is get him in, and this scene repeats itself like four times where they meet him in a room where there is no one else, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have all the information that you need to continue your investigation." So the cops don't even actually have to do any detective work. There's no secrecy. It's just they get told exactly where to go, and they go there, and they're narrowly tricked, I guess. But they find out that one of Giovanni Ribisi's guys had keys from the Mercedes dealership, so they're like, "Oh, we'll scout the Mercedes." So they go to do that, and then one of the guys steals an Escalade and then or an Eldorado and gets shot, and that's like the only person who maybe dies in the movie, the only moment of like concern.
yeah, I think
But
yeah.
he's a nobody as far as the crew and us
Yeah, he's
giving a
not
shit
in the
about
like
them.
crew proper. He's just like one of the guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
he's a background extra kind of guy. Uh, they find heroin in that car, and then they're like, then they have to get rid of the car to get rid of the drugs or something. Um, and that leads everybody to be like, cool, now we know that the heist is happening tonight. Because again, the detectives don't know anything and they don't follow any evidence. They don't go like, oh, this group of active car thieves are conspicuously doing activity for these 3 nights. I wonder. They just bumblefuck their way into everything. So they start stealing all the cars. There's like, I guess the first car theft thing where they go and they get like 6 cars at once is kind of cool because they get to show off some of the tech stuff. Um, but then as they start to do the Mercedes, they figure out that they've been bugged. Everybody's going to get got. So Nick Cage is like, don't steal the Mercedes. Then everybody just resets. They go back to the warehouse, to the garage, and they're like, okay, well, we can't do that. And so they don't. They just pick
Also,
another number
I,
of
I don't
cars.
know. I don't know if it's impressed upon whoever may be listening, Matt. I guess it sounds like they've been stealing cars for the entire movie. There is like an hour and 15 minutes of setup before they get to the actual like crux of the car stealing. It takes fucking
I'm glad you said it
forever.
because God, it takes so like this, like I said before, like I paused this movie and I was like, how is there this much movie left? Because like they take their sweet for a movie that's again got a ticking clock, they take their fucking sweet ass time to do anything in this fucking movie.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's not kinetic when they start either.
No,
Like
and there's no
you would think
and
there
there's
would
no
be sort of
payoff.
like a power like okay, we're gonna have a big montage where there's a bunch of
Yeah.
car theft and it's gonna really amp you up. And it doesn't really like they all go in, they do a thing. You get kind of a classic. Everybody walks through the garage door backlit or whatever, where it's like oh yeah, movie poster or whatever
Yeah.
trailer scene, but it's not that compelling. Uh, so they can't steal the Mercedes. So they try to steal other ones, I guess, and that's when the dog eats the keys. Then Memphis and Sway are going to steal a Lamborghini Diablo, and that's when they start fooling around. While the guy and like while the couple that owns the Lamborghini, maybe the guy, I don't know, whatever, they're also fooling around, and we're supposed to be like titillated by this, but we kind of covered it's not really hot. It's just awkward and
It's very
uncomfortable,
awkward.
and
Yeah.
it's very clear that she's way younger than him, and they did not have any actual like chemistry of any kind or even want to. Uh, so the cops go to the warehouse and they find a black light lamp, and they're like, "Oh, well, hey, here's the list of all the cars that they were stealing before." Uh,
Yeah.
so then they're like, well, we can't do all of it. So I guess let's just focus on that GT 500 because Memphis will want to steal that car again because he tried to steal it that other time, which I guess the police I'm sure the police have a he attempted to steal a car but didn't steal it file.
Yeah, because everybody knows about it too. Everybody
Yeah.
know, like the cops know about it. Like, oh, Eleanor, like that's the one that got away, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
wouldn't
like,
wouldn't you be like, hey, owner of Eleanor, your car is kind of the most desired car by professional
well,
car
this
thieves and
this
international
goes
gangsters?
this goes back to Sean's.
Park it out in
This
the
goes back to
road.
Sean's
Yeah.
point though about them being like, they're bad guys, but they're not really because they never show they're stealing people's cars. Like that's a traumatic event if somebody steals your fucking car. But there's no they
You never
just-
see the victim feel anything.
No,
Yeah.
no, ever. And like
It's like
It's not
punching
even
somebody in the
clo-
dark.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe
oh, we lost you there, Sean.
it's a thing because they're all like very fancy.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
You're good now, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear me?
you're good.
Maybe like subconsciously because like they're all like kind of fancy rich asshole cars, like it's not like it doesn't come across as traumatic as if they're out there stealing like fucking Focus STs and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think there's a little bit of a commentary there. They just it would be cool if they went. I mean, they do go to a couple of really fancy houses. It's just it's just not interested in what in the crime part. It's just like
Yeah.
this is a caper. It's fun. So yeah,
It's
so
not
they're
fun though. It's not it to quote what's his name? Fucking Hail Hydra guy. It's not fun. It's not funny. It is
yeah. Yeah.
what's that guy's name? Gary Shandling. That's who I was thinking of. It's a clip they used to play on Howard Stern all the time. It's like it's not fun. It's not funny. That's exactly how I describe this movie.
So yeah, they're Memphis steals Eleanor. That's what happens. They have a police chase through the shipyard.
One of the worst
And then you have,
chase scenes you'll ever see.
I mean, it's like not. It's kind of boring because stuff is like we're positioned so that you're so low that you can't really feel any of the energy.
No.
The only kind of interesting thing that happens is the big propane tank like goes loose and starts rolling around, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it also like magically pinballs around things so much until it hits one cop car that it seems very video gamey and contrived. And then the jump that he does with Eleanor off a tow truck ramp is just bad looking CG. Like it looks
awful. Yeah.
fake. It doesn't feel energetic. Like you don't even get like the energy of like the end of Elf where Santa's sleigh goes low over the crowd. Like you don't get a
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
of anybody being like, "Oh shit."
No.
It's just like it just flies through the air, lands. It's got some
Jingle
dings and
All the Way
dents.
had a better chase scene than this fucking movie. That's what I'm gonna say.
So they seem to have won. They take the cars to Christopher Eccleston's junkyard, but they're 12 minutes late. And
Well, also, and
he's-
Eleanor is like fucked up.
yeah, Eleanor's got
like,
some bad damage. So so he's like, well, no, I don't want 49 cars 12 minutes late, and so I'm gonna kill you all. But basically, like, just everybody's got free reign of this crime boss's junkyard. So Ribisi jumps into like a crane and starts knocking people around and shit. And like, then there's a chase into the warehouse, and it's basically the end of Terminator 2 if it was super boring. Or like,
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like a set in the late 90s where we need to be in a room with scaffolding and a lot of exposed pipes where someone can point a gun at somebody else and then fall. And that's what happens.
and he falls into the coffin that he made for his brother, which is like okay, like
Yeah,
it's kind of funny, but it's like, like I don't. By this point in the movie, I'm just like, is this over yet? Please.
And in falling,
The movie version, like
oh, go ahead.
sorry, This movie is like a case of like a PlayStation 1 The Getaway or Driver You Are the Wheelman or
Yeah,
something, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like you said, it's just like a set at the end. It's like it's just kind of
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
just kind of ends.
So then we get the moment where Delroy Lindo shows up, Eccleston's dead below, Cage is standing there, the gun is on the ground, and Delroy Lindo kind of looks at him. Cage looks at the gun. They do a fake thing where they're maybe going to have a moment, but they obviously don't because Nicolas Cage is a good guy. Memphis is a good guy. So Lindo like picks the gun up and he's like, "Okay, hey, I didn't see anything. Get out of here." And that's
Yeah,
and that's where it ends.
yeah,
He gets to go home. Everybody's like, "Well, hey, none of that had to happen because the guy died, and so I guess we give all these cars back."
yeah. Right.
Um,
That's not resolved. Yeah, what do we do with these cars that we stole? Like, I don't know. I guess we
Yeah,
hold
because
on up.
he tells the cop like, "Here, there's a shipping container full of these cars. Go get it." Uh, so then they're having a Fast and Furious style post movie barbecue, and that's when Duval is like, "Hey, I got you a different '67 Shelby, and it's ugly, but we'll fix it." And then he
Yeah,
tries to drive it away, and it stalls out.
yeah. And
Credits.
then he's like Angelina Jolie. He's like, "You want to ride?" And she's like, "Hell yeah!" And again, like the non-sexual tension, you can cut it with a butter knife. Like it's just not there. Like it's supposed that scene's supposed to be like, "Yeah, I want to get in there and fuck you," but it's just like, "Yeah," and it's like, okay, like I
Yes,
don't
I
know.
would also like to go for a ride.
Nate probably hasn't experienced this, but I know Sean and I have. We've all been with women that weren't that enthusiastic to get in a car with us, and being in that situation, I
Ah,
understood this movie
we've
perfectly.
all been in that situation. Like
You're too,
yeah.
you're too handsome and humble. I don't want to
Uh,
hear it.
I've been like, yeah.
Well, I've been in the situation where I don't think Nate's wife wanted to get in the car with me, so he's kind of involved.
No, yeah, we've all had a bad date where you're like, I think this is going somewhere, and then it's like, no, this is
Yeah,
not going anywhere.
no,
This
nope.
is going to you taking me to where I live and leaving me alone. It's
No.
like, okay, cool, that's fine.
This is going to be
Yeah,
you.
for those dates where it's like if it was more socially acceptable, I would leave you here, but I'm compelled to drive you back over this road
But
with
yeah,
me.
this movie seems to imply that despite feeling that energy palpably, you're supposed to be like, oh no, they've rekindled. Like the
Yeah,
wiki says they rekindled their romance. I mean, one, it to be kindling, you have to actually be capable of catching fire, and that's not
right.
happening anyway.
Yeah,
But
you're trying to
yikes.
start a fire with two plastic knives. Like it's not going. Like it's
Yeah.
just not going to work.
Although, if you did start a fire with two plastic knives, this movie would have been more enjoyable because you would have been high on
True.
plastic fumes.
Yeah. I would. I think being high, well, actually being high would have just put me to sleep. This movie was so fucking boring. All right. Well, we talked through this whole goddamn movie. There's nothing else we want to talk about, I assume, right? I
Yeah,
no.
I don't know.
So
Five knuckle shuffle time. Gone.
three,
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I like some of the
Yeah.
cars were neat.
Yeah.
I liked when Nicolas Cage did that thing with his hands, and then he said, "Okay, let's go." But other than that, like this is just like it doesn't even rise to 2000s power schlock. This is I wish Alec was here, but this is like a what do you call it? Platinum edition patient first collection
Absolutely,
DVD.
yeah. This is definitely while you're getting your oil change, this movie is on that shitty TV that's right above the water cooler, 100%.
There's nothing else to extract other than like it's a boring movie with no real stakes or driving action or anything. It's just kind of
Yeah.
there. Uh, it was a movie that you could still sell a movie just because like somebody famous was
Yeah,
starring
people
in
went
it,
to
and
movies
that's
at this
about the.
time, so you just released movies, and
I
they
mean,
were
I
like,
want to say
"Oh,
I didn't look up the numbers, but I'm pretty sure this was a hit. I think this is a pretty big hit at the time.
yeah, I'll tell you."
Yeah, Nate kind of hit it right off the. This is we're at the end of history. It's like it doesn't matter what we do now because the culture is at its apex. Like so, it literally doesn't matter. We're just riding out the string until the world
Yeah,
For real.
implodes.
it made
So we don't have to try anymore.
237 million on a
Holy
$100 million budget.
pretty well. That's not as big a hit as I thought, but that's still pretty fucking impressive.
I think I just talked myself into it too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's Uh, right.
I'm gonna stick with your original three. Like this is almost a five, where it's a movie that
Yeah.
like doesn't exist in a weird way because it has a lot of people who we know can act and can be interesting, but nobody does a lot interesting. But then Cage does some fun stuff. It's just so seldom that it doesn't hold the movie together. And it's not like everybody's bad in this either. It's just like there's not anything there. It's living like all of its like style and energy and things like that are coming from the yellow filter and the fact that like people have bleached hair and there are cars in it. It's like it's dealing entirely in an aesthetic that was so briefly relevant that it can't really be felt. Like it's not it doesn't capture anything, right? Like it doesn't have an immediacy and it doesn't have like a nostalgia. It's just sort of glop that exists.
The glop
Um,
is a good word.
but the cars are cool. It's neat to see the cars. I think some of the car stealing technology stuff is interesting, and if it was even a little more like if it was a little more heisty, like it doesn't fully commit to any of the things. Like it could be like a gritty race car movie.
Walk up to the car and take it.
Yeah, that's all they do. They like half of the cars seem that they're just unlocked, and then the rest of the time they just go in and they're like, okay, well I plugged this thing in and now I can drive the car. And nobody reports the cars. There's never any sense of like there's a problem. Like it would be even something if you cut in like the news being like a rash of car thefts is occurring, but because it's 2000 shot in 99, it's like a time when like the news doesn't even respond that quickly because it's on in the morning and at night and there's not anything in between. There's no social media, there's no cell phones in this movie really. I mean, there's some cell phones, but not like it's just, yeah, it's sort of perfectly in a place where it can be the most boring thing it can possibly be and still exist. Three,
Yeah, well said.
TJ.
It's a two for me, dog. This movie bored me to fucking tears. I again, like I'm just driving over the same points that y'all did, but it's an action movie with no action. It's a character movie with no character. It's just I've never seen a car chase so flat and boring. Like I've seen like cop procedural TV shows that have better car chase scenes than the scene in this movie, and there's only one. Like, how can you have a fucking movie about stealing cars? And you have one chase. Like, what? And like, it took so long for this thing to get going, and then like, I don't know, man. Like, I was not enjoying my time with this film whatsoever, and I was just like waiting for this thing to be over. And also, the runtime for this movie is like way too long. You could have cut at least a half an hour out of this fucking movie because there's so much of this movie where just nothing happens. Like it's just so boring. And I guess at times the movie thinks it's clever and edgy, and like again, like they're trying to make Cage this like kind of badass, like kind of Steve McQueen type character. And I love Nick Cage. We've
Oh
all
yeah.
had our moments with Nick. But he doesn't work in this role at all. Like he's too like quirky to be like a badass.
Well, he doesn't
And
seem
like,
tortured either. Like he's
yeah,
supposed to be a guy who left this behind and he's doing it reluctantly, but he just kind of does everything like, oh yeah, whatever. I guess this is fine
said before
because they're
though,
not
like
bad.
everybody's like that. Yeah, and that's another thing. This movie has like a Suicide Squad problem, not the Suicide Squad, but like the original David Ayer one, where they're all supposed to be villains, but they're not bad at all. They're not like bad people, and I don't think I just don't think that works. Like it's not fun, and it's not like there's no edge to this movie at all. Like it's so flat and like unoffensive. Like it's fucking to use a reference that Sean loves a lot, it's Nachos Flanders style for like a car chase movie. Like it's just so boring and
Here's
like
what you need is a movie where a crew of car thieves has to steal 50 cars from Jay Leno in one night.
now that I would watch. Hey, you guys like cars?
He hasn't touched any of his Tonight Show money.
Oh God. But yeah, this movie sucks. I'm sorry. I would love to hear a retort. I want to know. It's Alec is an enigma to me, and I love him so much for it. But I just don't know what you could find compelling about this movie. Like I just was so bored, like the entire time. And I was hoping again, like having not seen this in a long time. I was hoping for like weird Nick Cage moments because that's what you live for with Nick Cage performances. You know what I mean? Like I think of like the Ghost Rider sequel, which isn't good, but like he's a fucking lunatic in that movie, and it's at least him like freaking out is entertaining. And it's just there's not even that. Like he's very subdued Nick Cage in this, and I don't know. Angelina Jolie is hot, but it's again, it's like a violent. It's there's no violence and no sex, so it's not like she's supposed to be sexy, and she obviously is, but like it's not like it's like I feel like if this movie was in the '80s, you would have seen her titties. That would have given me at least 1 point.
She's just
What's
she's not sexy. She's just
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah, I agree.
Like I think that's what you're is like. There's nothing like sexual about really anybody in this movie, but I mean that's what I think she's meant to be there for. But she's just kind of like awkward because again the chemistry or whatever, and she's not well developed or written or has nothing basically to do.
No, and there's no like there's no like I guess from the synopsis like there's supposed to be like a will they won't they like get back together, but I don't care about either one of them because like you said, Sean, they read like father and daughter, like they don't have any chemistry and there's not like any kind of tension in their scenes. Like this movie needs something and it just doesn't.
And not like a dogtooth father and daughter, right, like right. A normal style. Yeah,
of course. But yeah, that's the movie. I have a pick, unless somebody else.
I have an idea also that I can pitch. Because Michael Pena, a very young Michael Pena, is in the movie. He's in Master P's gang, I think.
No shit.
So I was gonna say we could do the Michael Pena also car movie Moonfall from a couple years ago.
Isn't that the one where the moon falls on the earth?
Yeah, the moon literally falls into the earth.
And that might be fun to watch. My suggestion was I was gonna go with Eccleston. And I was going to pick Shallow Grave, which is Danny Boyle's first movie, which is a movie
that would be a better experience. Yeah.
I was going to pick Eccleston and go 28 Days Later because I thought it'd be fun to talk about since we've been talking about 28 years, but I've never seen Shallow Grave and I wanted to watch it from. You want to do Shallow Grave instead of the Roland Emmerich.
Very young. Very Ewan McGregor.
Roland Emmerich or Dean Devlin. One of those guys made Moonfall.
I think it's Roland Emmerich, yeah.
Because I think it was TJ was describing the plot of it before it came out, and I was like, what is it called? Fucking Moonfall?
Yes, it's what it's called.
All right, we'll watch Shallow Grave.
Shallow Grave.
It has people in it. Ewan McGregor is in it, and there's obviously Eccleston's in it. There's some other people. It's British. It's apparently a black comedy that's insanely violent. That's like what I was reading the critics' reviews of it, and it's generally well received, but people are really off put by the violence. So that'll be a fun dividing rod, whether how we feel about the movie. So, all right, that's the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and get those asses lubed up for World War III. Israel high, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.